Welcome to the Rewards Master Live. Good to have everybody here today. Let's see, we've got just a very few in here so far, but they always seem to jump on real quick after we start this. First one I want to acknowledge is Mike Newland, channel member and great friend of the credit card community. Mike was waiting in here, and Mike, good to have you here. Good to have you here. Thank you for everything. All right, so today is going to be a little bit different than typical in that, first of all, our time is a little different. We're an hour later than usual. And the reason for that is I'm traveling again, and I just could not make the schedule work earlier because I'm in a totally different time zone. So worked it out this way. So hope everybody can still jump in and have a good life. So next week should be back. I'm not traveling again on a Sunday for a while. So we should be back to our regular time frame at 3 o'clock Central Time. But today we're at 4. So that's great. All right, DEM is here and gives us a wave. He's a channel member and a great friend of the channel, big supporter of the channel. Thank you, DEM. I appreciate it. And also another City Prestige lover along with myself. So it's great. DM says connection's a little spotty. My connection? Is that what you're telling me? Okay, well, let's see if it gets any better because this is what I got today. So unfortunately, I don't have any other options. So we'll see if it gets a little better. All right. So let's see, we have 10 in so far. That's great. Good start. If you would, when you jump in, just say I'm here or let me know that you're here. Okay. DM says, yeah, it's not terrible though. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I wish I'm not in my regular environment. I'm staying with some family and I've been traveling, doing some work and also seeing family. So this is that's the reason for the change. Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. So, all right, Ian M, good day. Well, Ian, great to have you here in the live. Appreciate you being here. All right, so today, because I'm out of my typical, I guess you might say, environment. So today we're going to do something just a little bit different. So I haven't really done one of these before, but typically these are the topics that I try to address on the channel in my live sessions: new developments, restaurant rewards. I'm kind of one of the only people who talk about that. Centerpiece, which is like my main event, upcoming travel, reward deal of the day, and status stuff. But sometimes I mix it up. And today, due to this kind of unique travel situation I'm in today, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. And so really all we're going to have today is I'm going to go through several comments and questions from my past videos over the last couple of weeks that I thought were kind of good questions. And then I'm also going to open it up. If any of you have comments or questions, we can have great discussion in that way. But I get a lot of great comments and great questions. In fact, most of my videos, I'll get 30 to 50 great comments or questions. And it seems to have been growing substantially. And I try my best to at least I read them all and I try my best to at least give some responses to all of the comments because I want it to be an engaging community. So that's important to me. So I'm going to go over some of those. The other thing is some of you have commented that I put out a lot of videos and I have a pretty high velocity of that. I have tried to do for all last month, I did a video almost every day. And I've slowed that down a little bit. So I'm still trying to do 3 or 4 a week. And my reason for that is very simple. And that is I was a YouTube consumer long before, for credit card points and miles, long before I was ever a YouTube creator. And I loved it. And I have a lot of things going in my life as far as I'd have to drive quite a bit for work and then to work and commute and all that. And I would always listen to YouTube stuff. I have a big property and I mow a lot. That's one of my most relaxing things to do. And I'll put on my noise canceling headphones and I listen to stuff. And I found that I would quickly run out of things I wanted to listen to. And there was always something, but sometimes a new card would come out and everybody did the same video on the same card. And I wanted something fresh and different. So I just kind of determined I want to at least try to provide content on a regular basis that's new and different for people to have something to consume who really love this kind of stuff. And this is one of their favorite forms of entertainment. So that's why I'm doing it the way that I am. I don't know that it's going to be sustainable for me to do one every single day. I've tried that, but I think it's probably sustainable to do 3 to 4 a week. And I'm going to continue to try to do that because, like I said, as a consumer of YouTube, I always was discouraged when I seemed like I couldn't find anything to watch or to listen to. So that's kind of why I've done it that way. So we're going to move straight into the content in just a moment. But like I said, I'm going to get back to all we're really doing today is I'm going to go through a bunch of comments and questions on all different subjects based upon some of my recent videos. And then you'll be able to ask contents, anybody who's on here. So we've got 21 in here so far. If you haven't made a comment, just to let me know that you're here, say I'm here or whatever it may be. That's very, very helpful. Okay, as we said, E&M said, good day. Joe, NY Law, great channel member, great supporter of the channel, said, good to see you as always. Joe, thank you for being here. I always appreciate you being here. Same with DEM, who says, appreciate you making the time. Well, there are things that are duties and there are things that are desires, and it's great when your duties are your desires, so to speak, because they say if you love what you do, you don't work the rest of your life. And as far as this, I mean, I love my regular job too, but I really love this. It's fun for me. And you guys, the supportive community makes it that way. Nuracan 71, how's it going? Good to have you here, Nuracan 71. Thank you for showing up. JC, who's been here before, says, hello, Rewards Master and everyone. City finally unlocked my CSE on Friday. Feeling very relieved. Looking to use up the rest of my Q3 Platinum Resi credit tonight. All right, cool. So that your Chase Sapphire Elite, I think you'd gotten like a fraud shutdown or something. Am I right about that? So glad to hear that's all cleared up. That's good news. Johnny Jimenez, another channel member, great supporter, says hello, everyone. Good to have you here, Johnny. Mike says, any videos help us some way, so thanks for the effort. Good. I'm glad y'all appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you. Glad to catch a live. James in Arizona, good to have you here with us. And Timothy, always appreciate your work. Thank you, Timothy. I appreciate that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do before I get in, I just think that I need to start acknowledging folks who've been really, really supportive. So on last week's live, I had 3 people give me super chats or super stickers. I don't really know the difference, but I do appreciate all of that. It all helps the channel and support the channel, because I don't do, and I've started to say this in some of my videos, I really don't do a lot of, like affiliate links or even referral links. And part of that's just because I just don't do it. And then another part of that is just like, I really don't want to influence what content I put out based upon what card is going to pay me most. And some of them very much more than others. Like for instance, Venture X has got really good referral links. City cards have none. I mean, it's just the way it is. Wells Fargo cards pretty much don't. But Chase cards do, and Amex cards do. So I probably will have affiliate, probably not affiliate, but referral links at some point if it's a card that I really believe in. But I'm not letting that drive what I do on here. So those of you who support in other ways, I appreciate that deeply from the bottom of my heart, because like I said, my desire for this is not that I ever want this to be my career. I love my job, so I'm never quitting. So I just appreciate being able to get good information, and that's what I'm trying to give. And I may not always be right, but it's always coming from my heart and what I think is actually the best case scenario for people. So that's where it's coming from. So I really appreciate when people support in those other ways. So last week, DM gave a super chat. Appreciate that so much. RC, another channel member who's always so faithful and probably will be on here at some point later today. Always so good. Gave another super chat. And Joe NY Law, who's both DM and Joe are both in here right now. And I thank you guys so very, very much. And then through the week on a couple of my videos, Comp Steve gave a little donation. Appreciate that. And Joe NY Law, again, thank you guys for supporting. It means a lot to me. Okay, let's go ahead and what I'll do is I'll maybe cover one of these at a time, and then I'll go back to comments and then cover another one and go back to comments. So this was on one of my videos recently on Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant card review. Is it worth the $650 annual fee? So I really love the Aspire card, and I've kind of been tempted by the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant card. My problem with it is I like Marriott properties, but I don't have a lot of faith in the Marriott system. So, but I think the card's really good. It's the one that's the $650 annual fee. It gives you 85K free night cert, and then it gives $25 a month in credits for dining, which I think it's kind of simpler, but it does give a priority pass, and I don't need that. I got enough of those. So it's like I was struggling with it, so I did a video on it. And Russell Rhodes 1468 commented and said, this card honestly is meant for the diehard Bonvoy brand. The Aspire, most can fall back and break even in the Hilton chain without trying. The card is work to get value from multipliers, severely capped free night certificate being at 85K. Okay. I kind of see that, but on another hand, I actually think this card may be just as easy to justify as the Hilton Aspire. I have the Hilton Aspire. I don't have this one. I'm going to get more Hilton Aspires. I think they're amazing. But the Hilton Aspire for a maximizer like myself, it is really, really hard work. I mean, and what I mean by that is that I don't live in Orlando where I can just do a staycation for a night at a resort. So I have to really plan out going to those resorts twice a year to get the $200 back those 2 times. So I think it's worth it, and I have it, and I'm going to get another one down the road and kind of double them up. But I think it's kind of hard work. I mean, a little bit if you don't live in one of those locations. But the Brilliant card, I mean, it's so easy to go out to eat once a month and spend $25 and get that back. And then you've just got your free night certificate up to 85K. Now, that would be better if it was uncapped, but still 85K gets you a $500, $600, $700 a night hotel room. And then you get Priority Pass, which for people who need that, great. So I guess that I'm going to sort of agree with Russell. I do think that the Aspire card is a better card for a maximizer all the way around, but I don't know if I agree that it's necessarily better just for the ease of use case. I think in that the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, I mean, there's no easier credit really in the world to use than $25 a month at a restaurant, to any restaurant. I mean, that's pretty easy. So I'd be curious what y'all think about it. Let me go back to comments for a minute. Okay. Let's see. Timothy said, always appreciate your work. Appreciate that. DEM, planning a trip to Tanzania and Zanzibar. Ooh, that sounds fun. You going to do a safari maybe in Tanzania for end of next year? Has anyone done it so far? And if any recommended routes from anywhere in the U.S.? No. Only place in Africa I've been to Egypt, and I've been to Ethiopia, and both of those on work. And they weren't like fun trips, so I can't really give you any advice on that. But that sounds fun. I hope it's great. RC, we just mentioned RC that really supported the channel through a super chat last week. Channel member, always here. Thank you, RC. Says, I'm here, and we are glad you are. We appreciate you so much. Trey Genda says, hi from Virginia. Trey, good to have you here. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining in. Also says, Brilliant is great paired with Ritz-Carlton, 285 search. Yep. Yeah. Now you have to, I've never done it, but I know that there's like a procedure. You got to have one before the other and this, that, or the other. So it's a little bit of a power play, but yeah, those 285 certs, we're kind of like having 2 Aspires, right? But the problem is you're doubling up on your priority pass with both of them. But you get a different kind of certificate. You get you get different kind of bonuses with those, because on the one you get $25 a month, $300 a year at restaurants. That's good. But then it would pair with the one that gives you that $300 travel credit that you have to call in to get it. But I've heard reports you can get it on a lot of different things, even tickets and stuff. So that would be, even though technically I think it's for just incidentals. Okay, Timothy, DM, I don't, but R Square Travel Rewards is huge Africa traveler, and I believe he has point value videos in those countries. Yeah, if you go to R Square Travel Rewards, he's a big fan of City, which I appreciate about him. He's a big fan of Belt, which I like that about him too. Good channel. DM, Safari, yes, awesome. That sounds great. I think I finally got Nona, my player two, in on that. I have to ease her into places, so I think she finally will be ready to head to Africa. Okay, the next comment I wanted to bring up We have 31 in here, by the way. Please, if you haven't hit the like button and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do that. We just reached over 1,700 subscribers. I was in kind of a slog for a while in the 1600s, couldn't get many subscribers. So starting to improve now. But if you would hit that like and subscribe button. Also, if you do any super chats or super stickers, anything like that, that helps the algorithm as well. So it's greatly appreciated. So in the comments for this video, and this video is the best credit card trifectas for high spenders. So, you know, that kind of fits my channel model, high spenders. So 100,000 a year. So I was kind of analyzing if the person is high spend, which I would consider spending $100,000 a year on your credit cards is pretty high spend. Which one's better, Amex or Chase? So Rob Knopper Studio commented this way, said, I'm curious how you see the Alaska Summit card in this analysis. For instance, if you say 9,000 dining and 27,000 points, considering everything else, 1X, you would have 27,000 for dining, 91,000 for everything else, plus 125,000 value from the 2 global companion certificates. Now, what he's meaning is that one, when you spend the 20, you get the, just for having the card, you have a 25,000 companion certificate. And then when you spend to a certain threshold, what is it, 60,000 or something, then you get 100,000 companion certificate. He said that ends up at 243,000. And considering Alaska points are one of them, your most valuable points from the other video, where would you slot this in? Well, that's a good question. I have not jumped all, and I know some people have got to be super surprised, but I have not jumped in full bore on this Alaska Summit card, because my evaluation of it is that to get that really valuable 100K certificate, you got to put a lot of money on this card. And at face value, 3X on everything overseas spending is great. So I just did a little math and pulled up. I mean, I keep everything. I track all my finances, as I've said on here many times. So it was easy for me to tell exactly what I spend in overseas travel. And when I'm overseas last year, I spent like 4,000. So that's not very much compared to my general spending. 4,000 to 6,000 is not that much. So the rest of the multipliers on the card just don't excite me. So that's the problem with it. And really the great value out of this card, you're not getting like this. You're not even getting like a $10 a month Uber credit or this, that, the other. You're getting these certificates, these travel certificates, which are good. And they even work as a discount. So like the 25K, you could get a 55K business class ticket and you could pull it down and you could subtract that from it. So it's going to reduce it. That's good. But here's the problem. You have to go on that trip, first of all, and then they have to go. So let's say you do getting, and this is typical for Alaska points, a business class seat to Europe, 55K. So that's 110K. You're getting 25K out off, which is a good deal. You're going to have to spend 80K. That's fine. I'm not bothered by spending 80K. But the only way sustainably over time I would be able to have the points to be able to use those companion certificates is I would have to put all my spending on that card, because there's not ways. It's not like American Express where you're just going to get no lifetime language sign-up bonuses over and over and over, and you can upgrade, downgrade cards to get more points. It's hard to get Alaska points. So the only way I'd be able to do it going forward is to put everything on that card. And the multipliers aren't good enough to put everything on that card. They're just not. And so that's why I don't go crazy about the card for that reason. I think for the right people, it's really a great card. And I like the card. I like that it's breaking the mold, so to speak. But I think a lot of people aren't thinking about year 2, year 3, year 4. How do I use these companion certificates? Because how do I have enough points to start with to use these companion certificates in a program that the only buddy who transfers to them is built? And if you're like me and you don't have rent, it's really hard to earn bill points if you just have a mortgage. So that's kind of where I'm at on it. But I thought that was a good question that deserved a little attention. All right, let me go back and see. We have 33 in here watching. That's great. Appreciate y'all. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Let's see comments here. DEM says, thanks. I've watched a few of his videos. We'll have to watch a few more. Yeah. R Squared Travel. He travels to Africa. I mean, he loves Africa. He's always in Africa. So he's going to have a lot of videos on Built, which Built's great. He's going to have a lot of videos on City. Like he calls it the City Magnificent 5 or something like that, but it's His strategy involves getting a lot of custom caches, which is smart. Okay, DEM, I'm surprised we haven't heard about people making their purchases through a VPN in order to try to trick the system on this. Hey, that's an idea. Yeah. I'm sure they've got to have some kind of safeguard on that, because I mean, come on, it will put them under, Alaska and Bank of America, if people can just put massive spending on that 3X category. That would be crazy. Sleepy Rod, good to have you, Sleepy Rod. Do you think Built going to cardless will nerf the program? TBH, I'm not feeling optimistic since Wells was propping up Built with 10 million a month. Yeah. I don't know that Wells was propping up Built, or if Built is just a way better negotiator than Wells Fargo. In other words, I'm wondering if Built was raking in money and Wells Fargo signed a deal they couldn't get out of that just messed them over, because it was not a good deal for them. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is on that deal. I mean, I watched all the newsreels and stuff on it, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe so. Maybe Built's struggling and we don't know it, but it seems like it was Wells Fargo that was grumpy about it all. And I don't know, the cardless thing. All I know is the cards they proposed, and I talked about that in this video. I think it was the video I put out yesterday, but I talked about that. And if they do that 1.5x, I'm all in on that, because the one that proposed is 1.5x on everything. General spending is their no annual fee card. What's the downside? I mean, if it turns out not to be good, then I'll just cancel it, whatever. So I don't know. I'll tell you what I'm not interested in. I am not interested in their high dollar card. Their high dollar cards I think are not going to be good. They do have one that's proposed possibly 1.25x on mortgages. Yeah, that could be good, but I am sorry, but this giving me a credit back on fitness stuff. I work out, but I have a home gym because I live kind of out from the town. And I mean, that fitness stuff is like somebody in Built headquarters is like a fitness crazy guy. I mean, because it seems like they just do fitness stuff all the time. And it's just, that doesn't fit everybody. So I don't know. It wouldn't fit me for sure. And then a big Walgreens credit and then Priority Pass, like I need one of those. So I am not going to go for one of their high level cards. But if they do, and they have two options, so we don't know what they're going to do. But if they do the one that is a no annual fee, 1.5x on everything card, I'm thinking that'll probably be my catch-all card. Because 1.5x Alaska, because in my estimation, for me, Alaska, I'm not saying for everybody, but for me, Alaska cards are 100%. Alaska points are 100% the best you can get. They're worth 7.1 cents a piece for international business and first class. So, I mean, I'll take 1.5 of those over 2x of a lot of different currencies. So that's how I feel about it. Thank you, Sleepy Rod. Good question. Says Nerf. RC, can you explain what cardless means? It's a company. I know it sounds weird, cardless, but it's a credit card company. So yeah, I don't know why they're called that, but that's what it is. Thank you, RC. Good question. RC says, I'm out of the loop. No problem. It's kind of not very intuitive the way that works. So for sure. Mike Newland, $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that very much. You're always such a great supporter, not just of me, but of the community in general. Thank you so much. Mike says, is it better to go Built over Adam's card? I'm guessing that means the Atmos card. Yeah, the Atmos card. I have two cards that I guess are Atmos cards, because I have a Hawaiian card that's going to earn Atmos points starting next month. And I have the old Alaska card that is now their Ascent card, I guess, because Summit's their top one. And I think the Built card's better. I think it has better multipliers. The 6X once a month on dining is great. The problem for me with that is that the Elite card, the Strata Elite card, just destroyed that, because now, and Alaska points are slightly better for me than American points, but now I get 8 times a month that I get 6X on dining, and I can use it to buy gift cards. So yeah, basically to me, the Elite card is exactly what, for me, the Built card was a 6X dining card that I had to work hard to make it a 6X dining card, because I had to basically plan it all on the first day of the month. I've got the same thing with the Elite card, but I get 8 times a month to plan it all. So it's just better. But I don't know. I still think built over those Atmos cards, the multipliers are better. And if they do come out with a 1.5x on everything, that's going to be, I think that'll be very, very good. And I'll go with that for sure. Thank you, Mike, for the question. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Sleepy Rod, have you transferred any Capital One miles to JAL? No, I've never even looked at JAL, and I don't feel bad about it though, because clearly if Nick Reyes from the Frequent Miler team didn't know anything about it either, then I'm not too bad out of the loop. And he kind of said he had to look into it, spend a whole day doing that. Sounds like they've got some really good redemptions. I was excited about it. So I'm going to be looking at it. But the transfer, the regular rate on there just doesn't seem that great. You know, what is it to 1 to 0.7 or 0.75 or something? And right now with the transfer bonus, it's almost at 1 to 1, but it won't be that way forever. So it'll have to make up quite a bit to not be dinged by that less than a 1 to 1 transfer rate. So, but if you had a redemption, and the other thing is that the hard expiration in 3 years, I mean, I transfer speculatively a lot of times, but I transfer to programs like Avianca. I mean, I have a routine on my spreadsheet. Every 6 months, I transfer 1,000 points to Avianca just in case. Do the same thing with Air France. Do the same thing with Air Canada. All those. So I don't mind speculative speculative transfers, but I'm nervous about a program I can't ever extend out my miles. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. DEM. Oh man, thank you. $1.99. Thank you so much. Do you think Amex will get a partnership with Atmos? I don't think so. And I think that anybody Amex has a partnership with has potential to cause devaluation, because and people keep saying, well, that's going to happen with American, with Citi. But here's the deal. Citi points are fairly easy. I mean, they're really good if you earn through spending. But just to rack up a bunch of Citi points easy, like American Express points, that's not easy to do. American Express points are the king of just, hey, I'm going to sign up for a few cards and I've got a high level of spend to hit the sign up bonuses. And I'm going to get 500,000 points in the next 4 months. I mean, that's possible with American Express. You know how hard it is to get 500,000 points with Citibank? It's hard. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think Alaska wants that. And I just don't see that happening. I would kind of like it if it didn't devalue, of course, if they did, because man, I'd just transfer in even more points, but I don't see that's happening. But DM, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. All right. So let's see who's in here. We have 39 in here. Let me move on to the next question. Next question I had was on my video called Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant. Is it worth the $650? So Mike Jones said, I've been going back and forth between these two cards. Great video. Appreciate the info. I did see, though, today Hilton devalued their points for their top hotels. Yeah. That's why I put this comment on here. The Hilton devaluation. So the Hilton devaluation, Hilton has been devaluing, and then they wait 6 months or a year and devalue, and then they wait 6 months or a year and devalue. And I heard some video, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was the Frequent Miler guys, but kind of explained that they have a different reimbursement policy with hotels based upon what their occupancy is. So like if they have 90% occupancy, they have to pay them a lot more than if they had lower occupancy. So I think that's what's driving those point prices. But honestly, to me, I don't stay at a lot of Hiltons with points sometimes, but not very often. I stay at Hilton's in 2 ways. Free night certificates at super expensive properties, which that has not been affected at all. And then the other thing is I pay for really nice properties that are cheap, and they are. We stayed at the Etihad Towers. That's where in Fast and Furious, I think it was the 7th one, when they jumped the car from one tower to the other. We stayed in that. That's a Conrad. We stayed in that a couple weeks back. It was $151 a night before discounts or before the credit back on the card or anything. $151 a night at a 5-star hotel. And around the world, Hiltons are sometimes very cheap. So that's what I do. I don't do a lot of point stays. I am at the Puerto Rico meetup. I'm staying in a Hilton there with points, but for the most part, I just don't. And so that doesn't affect me too much, but I know for a lot of people that's very discouraging. But you got to factor in the, what is it, fifth night free. That can make it somewhat better. But yeah, it's not good the way they're devaluing, because some of their hotels, I mean, it's like 600,000 points now. It's just nuts. So that's absolutely true. So Mike Jones asked that question, and I wanted to kind of address it from there. All right, let's see who is all's in here. We got 36 in here right now. I don't think I have any more comments to go over. I do want to thank Mike Newland and DEM both for giving a super chat. I appreciate that. That helps support the channel immensely. And y'all are just the most supportive, helpful folks in the world. Appreciate it. Okay, the next question. This was on my video called The Ultimate Premier Card. And in this video, I went through and I designed on both American Express and Chase and Citibank. I designed what I think is the perfect credit card. And it was with, each of them had a $1,500 annual fee. And I mean, they had crazy credits, crazy multipliers, but I tried to make them realistic. Okay. I tried to make them something where it would be great value, but there's potential for breakage. So for the companies, they could actually make it work. You know, I don't understand all the financial in and outs of these companies, but that was what my desire was. So this, my crypto lingo 5974 said, I would pay $1,500 for a CSR card if I could earn 4x on restaurants and 2x on everything else. That would be an Amex Gold and Capital One Kryptonite. Okay. And the reason I put this comment in here is because that's what I did include on all of these super cards that I called them for. I mean, $1,500 a year. That's a nuts annual fee. Now, all of them had potential to get that back and more. And there were different ways. And I tried to even fit them with the flavor of their company. But I think that when you're paying high dollar, that the Citi Elite card has actually struck on something, because people, I know people don't like the Citi Strata Elite card. I don't understand. I think, and I know I'm going out on the limb here, and some of you are going to say I'm crazy, so please do that in the comments. Be nice. Don't hurt my feelings. But I think the Citi Strata Elite might be the best, even with the refresh on the Amex Platinum, which I do like a lot. But I think the Citi Strata Elite, I think it works. I think it's one of the best. And let me tell you why. Because the Citi Nights thing, if you're a little bit creative, you've got basically a 6X dining card. That's pretty amazing. 6X dining. But what really makes it great is you can get all your money back, even the Black Lane credit. I just used the Black Lane credit. It just posted to my account 3 days ago. It was easy to use. And I got a limousine service for $6 because it was $106. Got a $100 credit. It's not bad. The card credits for, what do they call them? Splurge. Those are easy to use. The hotel, really easy to use. But the 6X on dining and 1.5X on everything else, no one is giving them credit for that. That's what made the Venture X card amazing. Venture X card was a high dollar travel card that gave 2X on everything. You say, yeah, but that card's not giving 2X on everything. No, it's not. But let me tell you, the Venture card don't give 6X on dining. They don't give 6X on dining. So here now you've got a card that if you work it right, I realize it's 4 times a month. I mean, it's 8 times a month. But if you work it right, you can give gift cards, whatever. But still, I mean, that's unbelievable with a 1.5X on everything base. And I look at the CSR and I look at the Platinum and I'm like, that's what's broken about those cards. They shouldn't. I mean, they give you a card that you don't want to use, except when you go to an airport lounge. I think on a high dollar, high level card, it should be a user. I mean, you should be able to spend on that card. And so that's where I think the Elite card did great. And so on all of my fictional cards, they all had at least a 1.5X base rate. And I think that really should be the standard. All right. DEM said, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Let me see how many likes do we have here? 22 likes. So, I mean, we've had at least 42 people watching. So about half have hit the like button. So that would really help out a lot if you hit the like button. Thank you so much. Thanks to DM for reminding people. RC, $1.99. Thank you, RC. You're always so good about supporting the channel. Thank you so much and being here as well. So thank you. I appreciate that. And all of y'all, both RC, DEM, Mike Newland, all those super chats. I appreciate them very much. DEM Black Lane is great. Was picked up in an electric Mercedes, top-notch service. Nice to have someone meet you and help you with the luggage. Yep. My guy, we were in Abu Dhabi, and the guy had the sign. I mean, he was in a nice chauffeur suit, had our sign with our name on it, helped us with all of our luggage. It was easy peasy. It was great. $6, I'll do that all day. Thanks, DM. I'm glad you've enjoyed it too. Sleepy Rod, I could get behind the City Strata Elite being the best card, provided I can go all out on gift cards on city nights. I'm a leech. Okay. Yeah. Well, I go all out on gift cards. I mean, I do. I use the MileagePlus X app, and I'll buy me a Texas Roadhouse for the next week and a Outback for the next week and get points with a United on top of it. And it, so far, it's coded as 6X. It's been working. DM, agree on the Elite, although Platinum has far better travel protections and perks. Elite's a workhorse, no question. I have both. Yeah, I agree. The Elite card, I mean, it's not as flashy and it doesn't have those good protections. And even though I have found that the customer service is pretty good on it, it's probably not what American Expresses are. I get all of that, but it's a spender. That's the point. But what do you use? I mean, DM, you have a prestige card. Do you put anything on your platinum? What do you spend on it? Because if I've had the platinum, the business platinum, but if I had the regular platinum, I don't know what I'd spend on it because I put my airfare to get 5X because I want the 5X American miles on my prestige card. So what is the multiplier on there that's good? I mean, that's the problem. They need to have if you're going to put out a card, people need to say, this is my card, at least that I use for this, one particular thing. I think so. But yeah, it's a workhorse for sure. Joe NY Law, $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great support. I appreciate that. I've got really, really good supporters here, and I appreciate every single one of you. Okay, so no more comments on here. We do have 45 people in here with us, and 27 have hit the like button. That's awesome. 27 hit the like button. Okay, let's move on to the next question or comment, I guess you would say, that I've had on one of my videos. And this video was designing the ultimate credit card again. And Edgar Crespo says, City Strata Supreme sounds like a fancy sub sandwich. So I threw this one in for comic relief because I thought it was funny. Because I was kind of making up names for him, and I called it the City Strata Supreme card at $1,500 a year. And he thought that sounded like something Subway should have. So I just thought that was a funny comment. Okay. Another one on the designing the ultimate card. Doc said, if Amex put 1.5 multiplier on the platinum, that would be my dedicated catch-all card for personal expenses. Yeah, that's my point. That's exactly my point, is that they got to give you a reason to spend on the card. And so, yeah, I think that's absolutely true. That the funny thing about it is that it is really weird to me, all the people who have dogged on the City Elite card because it has a 1.5X on everything, saying, well, that's not good because the City Double Cash has 2X on everything. You realize that's like saying, it's exactly like saying, well, I mean, that Lexus, 250 model is not better than the Nissan because the Lexus 350 model is better. Well, okay, it might be better than the 250 model, but that doesn't make the 250 not better than the other. And Amex gives 1X and Chase gives 1X. So it's like, why are people arguing that this card's not good because it's not as good as one of its sister cards? I mean, it's just so strange because 1.5X is better besides the Venture X, which has no other multipliers. It's better than any other premium card. So that's always been so weird to me. I just do not understand it. Okay, Mike Newland said, sounds like a Filmo comment on the designing. Yeah. Well, I do have one from Filmo on here, by the way. So we'll get to it. In fact, I've got some of you guys on here, actually, as we get to them. So we'll see. All right, RC, LOL. And then QC Man, good to have you, QC Man 2000. Just sneaking in while watching the games. Did you say the Black Lane credit only ended up being $6 out of pocket after elite credit? That's pretty nice for an occasional bougie indulgence. Yep. It was in Abu Dhabi, rode in a gorgeous black Mercedes. Guy had the sign out there, cost me $106 just on my card. I got credited like 4 days ago, got my $100 back. It was awesome. Thank you, QC Man. Glad you're here, man. Glad you're here, and hope your team's winning, whichever team it is. DM, I put my flights on the Platinum since the Prestige doesn't have trip delay. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Also use it for Resi now and Lulu, along with the YouTube Premium, Hulu, etc. Yeah, I mean, it's got great credits, but and yeah, there's an argument to be made there that it's better if you're looking for the protections than the City Prestige. But I'm just saying, points wise, it just doesn't have much that compels you to spend on the card. RC says, exactly. It's so annoying that everyone is upset about 1.5 general spending. Lots of cards have 1.5 on general spend. It's all the other stuff that matters. Yeah. Well, it's like funny because a lot of the folks who are critical of it are really Chase fans, and they're forgetting that that's your base at Chase with the Chase Freedom Unlimited is 1.5. They don't even have a 2X card. So it's really weird. So, okay, let's see. We've got 44 in here. Let's move on to the next comment. This is on my video called United MileagePlus X app. I double, triple, and even 5 extra rewards. So, I talk about MileagePlus X all the time. Excuse me. This is some great points in info. What cards have you gotten full multiplier value on? I use mostly Amex Gold for dining. That's why I brought this up. If you're using MileagePlus X, be very careful if you're trying to use an Amex Gold card to get outsized value with restaurant rewards, because I don't know why this is, but when I had the Amex Gold, never worked with the MileagePlus X. If I bought like let's say Texas Roadhouse gift card, if I do that with a City card or with a Chase card, I get my full multiplier for dining and I get the full points for MileagePlus X. But with American Express, I would only get 1X on the gold card because it would not code as a restaurant. It would code as a gift card. So I wanted to throw this comment in here just to warn everybody on that, because, well, it's just not fun when you have that happen, when you're expecting to get 4X plus, say, 3 or 4X, and then you only get 1X. Okay. YouTube Experiment is here. Good to have you back. Says only Venture X has no FTF at 2%. 1.5 with City isn't bad overseas. Yeah. 1.5. That's the thing, is that I think the Venture X is great for what it does, but Venture X is a different kind of card. I mean, the Venture X, it does have the 2X, and that's better on all spend. But it isn't better when it comes, if you're going to eat at a restaurant on a Friday or Saturday night, City's got a way better situation going on. And I would also argue City's Panther partners are way better now, especially that they have American Airlines on there. So for sure. Okay, who we got here? Sam H. Sam, good to have you with us today. Leaders Cub Sterling status on MX Plat is crazy. Leaders Cub is ridiculously expensive. I haven't checked into that at all. I was going to, so I'm glad to hear your comment on it, because it kind of intrigues me to look into it a little bit. So Leaders Club, yeah, that's an interesting status. QC Man, CFU only being 1.5X was a lot cuter when there used to be an automatic points boost in the portal. Yeah, it was a lot better. Now it's not. So yeah, no doubt. And then QC Man, a $1.99 super sticker. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very, very much for your support. $1.99. Appreciate it. DM, I don't think you can have a card linked to Rakuten and MileagePlus X. I don't know. I haven't tried. I don't use Rakuten all that much because, like, I do like my American Express membership rewards, but if I'm using one of those portals, I'm almost always using the American Airlines shopping portal. So I wouldn't know, but I'll take your word for it for sure. QC Man, some say the Venture X doesn't rise to the level of a luxury credit card. Do you agree? No, I think it does. I think it does. I think it's This is how I see it. The platinum card from American Express and the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I see as kind of almost a different thing than a different category, which would be the Venture X. And I really think the City Strata Elite card fits in that group too. Now, the reason I say that is because these are higher dollar cards, the Sapphire Reserve and then the Platinum card, and they are serious coupon books. I mean, serious. I don't mind it. I'm a spreadsheet guy, but over on the other side of the spectrum, the Venture X card is super easy. I mean, it's going to give you lounge access. It's going to give you some statuses. It gives you some elite stuff, but it's easy to get your money back. And I see, but you're not going to get a ton more, right? I mean, you're getting your 10,000 points once a year. You're getting $300 travel credit, but you're just basically breaking even, maybe a little bit better than breaking even. And that's kind of how the Strata Elite card is too. And they're both earners in different ways. So the Strata Elite is a good base earner, but then you got this awesome potential in dining. And if you book through their portal, awesome. Same thing with the Capital One card. Book through their portal, 10x. I mean, it's great, but it's got this great base earning. It's just good to use for everything. So I see them as almost two categories, like these super elite cards that are like workhorses and you can game it and get back $1,000 extra, or these simple workhorse cards that you can just use them and put less effort in and get basically your money back. So I see those as different things, but I do, to answer your question, I think the Venture X is an elite card. I think it's a top level luxury card. But I think the people that are saying that about it are probably biased towards that other type of card. But honestly, I've been mad at the Venture X because of the lounge thing, but let's be truthful. It's a pretty good card. I mean, it's strong. I mean, it's strong. That's my opinion, at least. Sam H says, I'm waiting for Amex and JP Morgan to announce in the newsroom for the entry-level invitation only tier cards between Platinum Centurion, between CSR and JP Morgan Reserve. Yeah, I mean, maybe that in-between card is coming. I'd be curious to see what it is, too. Kay, good to have you here, Kay. Says, to add another MX, MPX, DP, I see it codes as travel on my statement, but the green card only gives 1X. MileagePlus X. Yeah, it codes as travel, but only gives 1X. It's almost like American Express really doesn't want you doing that. Chase doesn't care. City doesn't care. It's almost like American Express has a team that looks at that stuff. And because I don't know, because it would, the same thing would happen to me with the gold card. It would code as dining, but then they'd still only give me 1X. So I don't know what the deal was on it. So your miles may vary. Be careful with MileagePlus X and your credit cards that are American Express cards, because it may not work right. Okay, next one. This was on my video entitled "Why the Ritz-Carlton Credit Card is Totally Overrated for Lounge Access." That was a hot take. Some people really didn't like that one at all. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe so. But DGASMD1 said travel protections. I've been saying 100% for years with tons of backlash here. People that cry about the lounge situation are the ones spending hours couponing and don't actually travel. What he's saying is that I'm not a big one who worries about travel protections. I think it's fine if some people think that, if that gives peace of mind or whatever. But I've been traveling a long time. I mean, I've been a status flyer with airlines because of just my work travel for like 12 or 14 years. And so I travel a lot, and I've never used travel protections. I've never needed to, because generally the airlines have taken care of me. If I needed a hotel, they took care of that. If it was delayed, whatever. If my bags got damaged, they paid me for it. I mean, I just didn't really need it. So that's been my experience. But hey, I won't disparage others who have a different experience. But so DGA here is just kind of agreeing that the travel protections, I don't think it should be the driving force in what card you choose. If it's an extra benefit, that's great. But that's just kind of where I land on it. It's 43 in here. Thank you guys for all being here. Chad's Money Minutes says, yo, Chad, thank you for taking time out from football or whatever you got going on Sunday afternoon to join in. He's a great creator. Check out his stuff as well. QC Man says, hey, Chad, just says hello. All right, we got 43 in here. See how many likes we got. 32 likes. That's pretty good for 43 people watching. So thank y'all. And all of you who've dropped the super sticker, super chats, thank you so much as well. That all helps the channel and helps me to have the algorithm, at least, to bring more people into the channel. So I appreciate that very much. All right, the next one that I had that I wanted to comment on was on my video called 7 Reasons to Take a Break from Credit Card Sign-Up Bonuses. Okay. Van, let's see, Van Chez, I guess that's Van and Chez, I guess that's how you'd say that, said, what's a good time period to pause? 3 months, 6 months, especially. I want the built card. Last credit card I was approved for was July 2nd. All right. So he's asking, how much time should you garden, or how much time should you wait? And I'd be curious, some of the rest of the creators who are in here, some of you who are really experienced, what's been your experience? Well, for me, I kind of determine it based upon what my goal is, what I'm trying to get. So, for instance, some issuers are very sensitive to inquiries. I'm thinking like Citibank and some of the others, very sensitive to Bank of America, some of those. So if I might go longer if those are cards I'm really trying to get. If it's just to get out of pop-up jail or something like that, I'm just going to start spending on my Amex. I don't know if this will work, but this is what my strategy has been. I'm going to start spending on my Amex cards and maybe wait less time on that. So I don't know that there's an exact time frame, but I think if you wait 6 months, that's probably pretty solid, because I mean, that's really a lot of time in this game. So that's kind of my thinking on it. I'd be curious what others have to say on it as well. Eurisbu says, thank you. Great stream. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. You're here a lot, and I appreciate the support. Chad's Money Minute. This is a great example comment. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. He also says, I've been saying that people should lean on their loyalty programs more than credit cards. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's more reliable and, more likely to have satisfaction without having to go through lots of hoops. So that's how I see it too. The loyal programs tend to move quicker and can affect more meaningful change to make you whole. Yeah, exactly. If you have status with Delta, they're most likely going to help you quicker than your credit card company's insurance company is. I mean, it's just a fact. So it is. Chad also says, even if you don't have high status. Yeah, I mean, they will. So it's a better way to approach it, at least. DEM says, I'm getting about a 100K MR through Rakuten quarterly, so I'm treating those as mini subs. Okay, wow. That's pretty awesome. 100K quarterly? That's 400,000 points a year. You the man. That is awesome. That is awesome. All right, that's great. All right, let's go to the next one I was going to examine. This one's also on 7 reasons to take a break from credit card sign-up bonuses. Tomentum says, solid points. I would probably toss in, if you're looking to do major purchases, such as a home in the near future, maybe pause, along with your life circumstances, etc., child going off to college, higher or lower paying job, or even retirement, something like that. Okay. Well, none of those are going to apply to me except retirement, but I don't ever plan to retire, so I'm going to work forever. I like to work. But when I mean, my kids are grown, job's probably not going to change, income's not going to change. So I get what he's saying. And the buying a house thing, that matters way more when you're buying your first house than if you're like us and have bought a bunch of houses and you're way farther on in the game. So, I mean, I have just found that I don't worry about if I'm going to get approved on a house loan, but if it were my first or second house, it would matter a lot. So I brought this comment up just for that reason, just to point that out, that yes, I didn't mention that in the 7 reasons to take a break, but there are life circumstances. And I guess you might say there are seasons of life that could very much impact the reasons you would take a break from credit card sign-up bonuses. All right, we've got 51 in here. It's the highest we've had so far today. That's awesome, 51. And let's see how many, 33 likes. So if you haven't liked, please do that. Again, everybody who's given a super chat, a super sticker, thank you so much. That helps the algorithm a lot as well. Okay, the next one that I had was why I love the American Airlines Executive World Elite MasterCard. So I talk about that a lot. I love that card. I mean, I love that card. In fact, on my list of cards I'll never get rid of, it's at the top, in the top 3. And Skakula said, debating scrapping my Chase Reserve and getting this. Pairing it with the Strata Premier, any word on how those might pair together? If you have a video going into more detail on how to boost loyalty points with this card. Okay. Strata Premier and the American Airlines card, I think, is an awesome, awesome setup if you fly a lot with American Airlines. I just think it does. Now, I'm different than a lot of people in the space. I know most people argue that the American Express Platinum card is the best card for lounge access. I think it's a great card for lounge access, but it's not the best card in my estimation, because you know what my top priority is when I'm traveling is not to wait. That's my top priority for a lounge. So you know what are the best cards to me for lounge access in the world? This card, the executive card, United Club card. I would have said the Delta Reserve, but Delta can have lines. But United Clubs, I've never had a line at a United Club, never had a line at American Club. And people are going to say, yeah, but they're not very good. Yep. But I go to like 20 lounges a month, some months. I mean, I went to 102 lounges last year. I am not concerned about the best experience of my life in every time I go into a lounge. It's just a common thing. I mean, I like going in lounges, but I like to do it sometimes on that little layover of an hour, and I need it to be convenient. So when it comes to this card, I think it's an incredible lounge card. I also think, even though I don't like the multipliers and I don't like the credits, I think they're absurd on the United Club card. As a lounge card, if you fly United a lot, it's a good card. It's a good card because you got to value it out. Now, for the person who travels twice a year or 3 times a year and just is taking vacation travel and not in a hurry to get where they're going for business, man, yeah, there's no doubt. Amex clubs are better. Capital One clubs are great. Sapphire Reserves. I mean, if you have 45 minutes to wait in line, whatever, that's great. I'm saying it's a use case thing. So when they ask here, I think it's great because if you have this card, you can use it as a hotel card. I do. You can get amazing 10x on American Airlines hotels, 10x. And then you get loyalty points and you get extra points from the hotel itself. Crazy good. This could be a hotel card if you spend for your hotel, especially if you're getting reimbursed by your work like I do sometimes. Amazing. But then you're getting all those points from that. You're getting access to the lounges. You're getting a boost to your loyalty points at 50,000 points and 90,000 points. It's awesome. And then you've got the Strata Premier card as your American Airlines points earning card at 3x, dining, gas, hotels. You got it at dining, gas, groceries. I mean, you got it in all those areas. Yeah, I think they pair really, really well together. So let me know. Let me know if y'all agree or disagree. 57 watching right now. Let's see. Torsten Bach says, great stream. Thank you. Thank you, Torsten, for being here. I appreciate it very much. Appreciate the support. RC says, interesting. Just bought my first house, and I was definitely being sensitive about my credit card score during that time. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense on your first house. But when it's like your 9th, honestly, it's not going to matter as much. I mean, I haven't seen it matter, at least in my situation. Miles may vary on that, of course. All right, we're about to wrap up here. We're getting close to the end. Thank you, everybody who's given the super chats, given likes, subscribe to the channel, all of that. That is just so helpful and supportive, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I did want to hit a couple. I had some fun ones. Well, DM, who's been in here in every single one of my lives, and I appreciate it. He had a comment, so I wanted to say this is on 5 reasons canceling the Amex Gold Card. And DM said, agree with everything you said. Prestige, elite, and custom cash for supermarket spend just makes way more sense. Yeah, I like the gold card. I think the gold card's an amazing card. It's just I can't find a way to use it. It just sat in my wallet, and I just use it to get my credits back. So that's why I got rid of it, because, man, I have better multipliers. I have better dining multipliers, and you know, if you've got a city custom cash you can devote to grocery, that's 5x. I mean, when you have a city set up, it just kind of blows everybody else out of the water when you're way far along and you got enough of those 5X cards, it's just so much better. So DM, you and I thinking the same, just like usual. Thank you for that comment. Okay. This is also on the canceling the Amex Gold. I don't have a spreadsheet and I live in downtown San Francisco. Credits are easily, especially with the Dunkin' app. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it depends on where you live. Do you use Grubhub all the time anyway? It's going to be easy, right? Do you eat at Five Guys every week? It's going to be easy. Do you use Uber all the time? Going to be easy. It just depends on a person's situation. So we got 53 in here still watching. So this person asked, Edmund Allen 9164 said, what card are you using for your food card? You never said. I probably didn't say in that video, but I think I say it a lot. I shop at Walmart for groceries, so I'm just using a catch-all card. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. Filmo, we talk about Filmo. Filmo's on everybody's lives and great support of the community. But he said, I don't find the credits that difficult to track and use. I guess I'm just not that busy. So that is a Filmo comment, if there ever was one. And then also on that card, Edward Zayev says, yes, that's exactly my thoughts. Credits are great, but basically prepaid expenses with an unknown outcome. You might win a little, lose a lot. Decided not to play this game anymore. Yeah, that's exactly where I was at on the card, even though I think it's a great card. And then Dugras reports. I had to put this one on here. He said, it's not you, it's me. Great breakdown. Agree with your point. So basically, he's doing the whole breaking up with a girl. It's not you, it's me. He's saying that I'm saying that to the gold card. I thought that was pretty funny. RC, who's one of our channel members and in this live right now, on our video about Condor, flying on the Condor business class, said, I have to admit, I love that little salt and pepper airplane shaker. Did y'all see that video? It was crazy about that thing. They give you, a Minity kit and all that, but they have a little airplane that's the salt and pepper shaker with a little propeller. It's so cool. So I just had to include that. Thank you, RC. And then this video was 7 things I no longer waste money on. And this one, I have a couple good comments on this, and then we're going to wrap up. But Bridget Traveler 658 says, why are you eating out so much? I eat out a couple times a month. Clothes I wear for years. I don't care for shopping and wasting money. We eat out all the time, Is that a waste of money? Well, we have found that when we cook at home, it's about the same price. So, not much different and less, and I don't know how busy people are, but we're both very busy. So that's where we're at. So Bridget, yep, we eat out a lot. And then on built as a catch-all card, Riff Rafa says, you're good at this. Please make a video on how to use my soon to be 300,000 plus Alaska miles at 7.1 cents per point. Okay. He says, by the way, 215,000 so far, thanks to you. 7.1 cents per point. That's what I rank them at. And that's for business and first class travel. It is not hard to find. Just go to Points Yeah or Points.me or any of those and start looking up and specify in on Alaska points. And you're going to find flights all the time that are going to math out at 7.1 cents per point. I mean, they just do. All right. Things I don't waste money on. Now, this one I thought was really good because it says my family stopped many, if not all these things. But then what I wanted to comment on the bottom was I also like Dave Ramsey, but totally disagree with him on credit cards. I have lived the Dave Ramsey life all these years, and I just wanted to include this comment because I do love Dave Ramsey, but I disagree with him completely on the credit cards. And I think he's so hard on that because his audience just don't have the discipline to do what we do in this community. That's what I think. The ultimate premium card, again, this comment is if Amex puts a 1.5 multiplier. I think we already had that one, so we'll move on. Okay, this is my favorite comment. This wins the comment of the year. It's by DGASMD1. It's on things I don't waste money on. Okay, so we're going to close out with this. Thank you again, everybody, for the thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up if you haven't. Thank you for the super chats. Anybody wants to drop a last minute one of those, now's your time. Thank you so much for all of that and your support. But I'm going to leave you with the comment of comments because he says on things we don't waste money on. A few I stopped doing, some recently, most decades ago. Bad coffee, fast food, chain restaurants, brand logo clothing, cheap cars, all bars, flying economy, anything above the cheapest car rental, takeout food, cheap wine, strippers, and motorcycle chicks. That is the comment of comments. Because I don't waste my money on strippers and motorcycle chicks either, and none of you should either. So I think that GGAS MD, he gets the crown for the best comment in a video of all these that I've included. All right, let me go back to comments real quick before we wrap up. Let's see. Mike asked if I do groceries online with the Sapphire card. No, we should, but we had some trouble making it work, but we need to look at that again. RC said, haha, I love that little airplane shaker. Yeah, thank you for the comment, RC. I appreciated it very much. RCC, wish I had one. Guess I'll have to take that flight. Yep, Condor. It's great. Only 55,000 Alaska points. Timothy, I also shop at Walmart for groceries and use the Hilton Surpass. If you shop at the neighborhood market Walmarts, I find it triggers the 6X on groceries. Really? Okay. Learn something good all the time. We're going to have to check that out because we don't have the Surpass, but maybe it works on some other stuff. We'll have to see. Okay. Hugo is here and says, life is too short not to enjoy yourself. That's right. That's right. I assume he's talking about the eating out. So, yeah. Riff Raff, you the man. Thank you. You too, man. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. YouTube experiment. I wouldn't be surprised if Dave Ramsey has a bunch of credit cards. I wouldn't either, to be honest. I wouldn't either. I mean, he likes free stuff too, right? So Rex says, I missed it. All right, Rex. Well, sorry, man. You can go back and watch it, though. That's always available. Thanks for being here, though. Appreciate it. RC says, LOA, this one had me cracking up. Thanks for the laughs. Yeah. Just stay away from the cheap wine strippers and motorcycle chicks. That's what you got to do. That was the winner. And then Rex Blind says, paint strippers. Yeah, okay. Stay away from that too. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you. Several of you dropped super chats today. Let me see who all did. I don't want to miss anybody. QC Man gave a $1.99 super sticker. Thank you, QC. He's always here. So supportive. Joe NY Law, same thing. $1.99 super chat. RC gave a $1.99. DEM, $1.99. And Mike Newland, $1.99. Thank you, every one of you, for your support. I'm always humbled by it. It means absolutely so much. So thank you so very much. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back at our regular time, hopefully next Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock. And hopefully it'll be kind of a typical live stream with my regular topics and things. So thank y'all for being here today. And I will see you here next time.